Welcome to another episode of TeeVo and the Beard.
I know you can't see it, but I'm TeeVo, and that's the beard.
Yeah.
And today's episode is provided to you by Sweet Tarts, the new soft and chewy ropes.
Yes.
Sweet Tarts.
Cherry punch flavor.
Cherry punch flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet Tarts. They're sweet.
Oh, I thought that said shake the pack. It says share pack. I was very confused by that. The whole show was almost ruined because of my confusion.
This ad is not actually endorsed by Sweet Tarts. We are just merely fans of the candy brand.
Yes. But Sweet Tarts, if you would like to sponsor us, let us know. We don't need money. Just send us candy.
If you just want to send us candy.
Mm-hmm.
Even just one kind of candy.
Yeah. Like these delicious ropes here.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, you've been a little busy.
I have.
We're recording a little later this week because you were at another con.
I was, yeah. This one was called Heroes and Villains Fan Fest.
And where is it?
This one, particular one was in Atlanta.
Okay.
But they do like ones in like London, Chicago, California, all the usual stops. Mm-hmm. It was pretty fun. I gotta say, aside from Dragon Con, this was one of my favorite experiences.
Okay, was this your first time going to it, or
to this particular one? Yes, and I don't know how long they've been, operating under that name.
Right.
I mean, they told me I've been to another con from that same company, I wouldn't. Okay. I wouldn't deny that, but first one under the name Heroes and Villains, and it was really fun.
Now, is it like a Comic-Con, Dragon Con sort of
thing?
I
mean, I can say I've been to a lot of them now.
Right.
And they have your general formula now.
Okay.
You get people to sell you stuff. Stuff to either, take home or get signed.
Right.
Then you got your celebrities to do the autographs. Then you got the photo ops, and you have your panels. Very, very basic stuff.
Yeah.
But hey, if it brings people in, and it did.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Why I say it's one of my second favorite was I'm a big fan of whenever, I go meet someone and I can do more than just, get an autograph from them at the table.
Right.
And, or, because if I want a picture, I have been to some, granted, it's been a while, but, you had to get that photo opportunity. And sometimes, if you don't want that picture signed, you just want to take a picture on your camera. Right. It looks cooler that way, at least to me. And I think a lot of more people are doing that now because, that makes you more money.
So it's more personal than like Dragon Con or something like that?
I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
Wouldn't say that. I think I just overall had a good time.
Okay.
And the only thing that really still bugs me about some of these cons is, so you buy a ticket, you can do anything you want.
Right.
However, they can get you by going, buy the gold pass, the silver pass, the VIP pass.
Yeah.
And while that doesn't bother you, if you just simply want to walk around, see some people, go buy some toys, shirts and whatever,
right.
Sit at a panel for so-and-so amount of time. Doesn't matter. But if you're like me, who wants to see the celebrities,
right? Yeah,
you got to get in line. And this time they had a general admission line. And then they had a line that cuts it with the VIP.
Ah, okay.
This one wasn't as bad, but, it did get irksome.
Yeah.
It wasn't as bad as the time I saw Ming Na. And I'm waiting in line for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then literally I saw someone going, oh, who's that? I'll just check it out. And then they got to go right in front of me because they were VIP.
Wow.
And
they didn't even know who they were going to.
They didn't even know.
Yeah.
But they got to meet her before I did.
Wow.
This time wasn't as bad. I don't know if it's because it was the first time they were in Atlanta, so many people didn't want to buy a VIP pass yet. So I'll chalk it up to a good experience this year. But they definitely make me want to come next year.
Okay.
But you got to get people I really want to see.
Right.
This time, however, I met Dave Bautista. I got him to sign my Drax Pop.
Nice.
I bought one specifically for it. I did not already have one.
Yeah.
I bought one specifically so he would sign it, and he did. He was a very nice guy. Very quiet, but I expected that from him. I've seen some interviews with him since Guardians came out. He seems like a quiet dude.
Okay.
So, it was very nice. I met Michael Rooker for the third time. And, man, if people out there, if you want to go see someone at a con, it's going to give you a great experience, Michael Rooker.
Okay.
If you're a Walking Dead fan, if you're a 90s movies fan, if you're a Kevin Smith fan, if you're a Guardians fan, go see this guy. The second time I met him last year in Orlando, I told him, and this was before Guardians 2 really I mean, it was known to be made, but they haven't said anything. So I asked him, "Are you in the second one?" He says, "I am the second one." And I told him I had watched that movie Henry. You seen that movie?
Yeah.
I told him, "Yeah, you're highly scary in that.
Yeah.
You are very scary, especially the middle when it was just the scene of you and your friend just murdering a family."
Yeah.
So yeah, he's like, that was a cute movie, huh? Should have been a musical.
That would have been great.
This time I met him, and he signed my pop. And yes, I did not have a Yondu pop prior to this weekend. I bought one specifically for him to sign. Nonetheless, he signed it, and now it's awesome.
Funko, if you'd like to sponsor this podcast, we're more than open to that.
Yes, and you don't have to send us constantly. Just whenever we have a special request,
right? Yeah,
just ship it on over.
I'm sitting here with 2 Moana mini pops here.
There you go.
Yeah.
So. He signed my pop, and I said, we can't wait to see you in Guardians 2. And I said, hey, last time I had met you, and I told him, it's my 3rd time meeting you, and last time in Orlando, I talked about Henry, and I actually just recently watched it again, and it reiterated, you were scary in that.
Yeah.
You were like really scary in that. And I said, last time you said it should have been a musical. And he just breaks out into like a mini impromptu song about one of the murder scenes.
Nice.
And it was awesome.
Yeah.
And it was not just me. There was a girl in front of me dressed like Rocket who made a handcrafted like mini Groot in a pot.
Wow.
And, he was really interactive.
Yeah.
And he was interactive with anybody. But then again, every time I've seen him, he's like that. So Michael Rooker is one of the best people I've ever met at a con.
So did they have panels there?
They had panels, but the con of the con. Why I like Dragon Con so much is that in the place, it's encompassing a lot of areas.
Right.
So yes, you have to walk a lot. It's not the convenience of everything in one room, but I didn't like that the panel was next to the autograph area, so I could hear it. Yeah, it's like I'm trying to talk to these people. Yeah. So that's that little tidbit on my part. Whatever. Yeah. You rent a space, I'm not in charge of these things. I'm just saying what I like.
But they didn't charge like extra for panels or anything like that? No.
Okay. Generally, if you go to con now, unless it's like a super special panel, like a really special one, which I've been to a couple where they've done stuff like that. It's like, ooh, a very special one. Yeah. Extra ticket. Oh. So that was pretty cool. And not an Arrow fan, but I am a heterosexual male. Right. And I did meet Willa Holland, who plays Thea Queen on Arrow. Yeah. And I lied to her. I'm sorry. If you're listening to this.
You told her you were a fan, didn't you?
I told her that she was fantastic in the show.
She probably is.
She probably is. But the irony is, the full irony is, that the first main reason I stopped watching that show was because of her character. I found her incredibly annoying. Okay. Just within 2 episodes, because you're in year 5 right now. I'm sure there's loads of character development. Right. So when I'm talking, I am judging from 2 episodes. Right, yeah. But the whole premise was, Oliver Queen has washed ashore. Everybody thought he was dead. And, it's, the first season, I assume, was acclimatizing back to normal society. Yeah. Well, I just hated that his sister just couldn't understand that he wasn't there for her. Yeah. Because he was stuck on an island. Yeah. That's what killed me. I was like, why are you whining? It's not like he just left to go with the girl or
he wasn't next door.
He wasn't, or he purposely ignored you. Yeah. Like, this man went through a lot. Granted, I don't know what he went through. Right. But generally, I feel like, why are you getting onto him?
Yeah, if you're trapped on an island, people shouldn't get mad at you.
And that's what happened. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? If this is how the next arc is going, I'm done. Right. I can't do this. But no, I lied to her and said she's fantastic. Of course. Yeah. And I also lied and said, I remember watching you on the OC. I did not watch the OC.
Did you do like a nice Wikipedia search before?
I did, yeah. Okay. I did, and asked people who actually watch both Arrow and the OC. Yeah. But I did have a real genuine question. Okay. I'm a big fan of Tate Donovan. For those of you who don't know, he's the voice of Hercules. You've probably seen him in some shows. He's that guy. Yeah. Just Google his name. Yeah. And you're like, oh, that guy. Yeah. But I'm a big fan of him. And Tate Donovan was on the OC. And I asked, hey, it's gonna be a weird question, but is Tate Donovan a cool guy? He looks cool, and I hope he's cool. She's like, oh my god, I love him. Actually, I hated 98% of the males on that show. And I was like, but Tate Donovan's cool. Tate Donovan and Ben McKenzie were cool. Everybody else, I don't like.
Nice.
And I was like, all right, I feel like I got some insider information right
there. This would be the only part of the OC that's, ever brought up on this show, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I know any plots, but I thought that was
because I also know that it's called the OC. I assume it's set in California based on the name.
Well,
that's
still lost to me.
Yeah, that's the
but
amount of my
now
knowledge.
you know that Tate Donovan
Yeah.
and Ben McKenzie are nice guys.
Right.
If you watch this video, I'll have the beard upload photos of my selfies with these people, so you can see what one of us looks like.
You have to figure out which one is which.
But then again, like your face is on like the upload icon, so it was only a matter of time.
And if they've listened to past episodes, they can figure out which one is you on
pretty much
pictures. Yeah.
But I ran into Ming Chen from Comic Book Man.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. At some point we were just hanging out talking.
Oh, nice.
I went with a friend who was getting some autographs from very high profile people like John Barrowman and Stephen Amell.
Yeah.
So their lines were naturally really long.
Yeah.
And I just didn't feel like waiting sometimes, so I walked around, and I was walking around after I met him first time. I was walking around, and he just said, "Hey Tim, how's the con going?" I was like, "Whoa, cool."
Nice.
And it was cool. He was a nice guy. But then I thought, well, you're not that famous yet. You're very niche famous. But, I mean, you mean a lot to me right now because I love the Comic Book Man. Yeah. But, he wasn't having a line like John Barrowman.
Right, yeah.
So,
yeah, because he's got multiple fandoms going to
exactly
to see him,
Exactly. So, that's about it. Overall, like I said, solid one. Didn't mind. You
definitely recommend it to other people looking at cons?
I guess so, because it was a very small one. Like, I walked around the vendors hall, and doing air quotes.
Yeah.
We were done within like 15 minutes.
Okay.
So
it's not like Dragon Con where you're staying multiple days and
no, Dragon Con has 3 floors of vendors. So that one takes a long time to get to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that was fun.
Cool.
And look for my pictures. I don't have many because I don't like taking pictures of the costume. I just like to admire them. Yeah. As they walk by, I say, "Hey, nice costume." Because in the long term, thinking, what am I going to do with this costume picture? Yeah, and it's not something. I mean, most of these, if you are that diehard of a cosplay fan, you can find these pictures somewhere else. Exactly. And while I appreciate the art of cosplay, I again, but what am I going to do with this picture? Yeah. I definitely understand that. It's like me walking around Halloween. I didn't take any pictures of anything I saw, but But you go, hey, great costume, right? Yeah. So that's that, and I like that I ended my big picture with Willa Holland because she is on the CW. Okay, and that's what we were talking about. That is, yes. We're to the meat and the potatoes of the show today. No Shield again this week, but they're taking their time. They're cooking something up. Yep, and they left us with a good cliffhanger. They did. They make us want to come back. But let's tackle through Supergirl first. Okay, Supergirl. Well, what did you think? I think that they seem to be theming the episodes lately, which I'm not saying that is a bad thing. But we've had the theme of being alone, with Mon-El and Martian Manhunter and even Alex a little bit. It's like they're all alone, and then we have an episode where it's all about couples, where you have everybody's finding their little counterpart, so to speak. And this past episode I like that even though it's still a show of rainbows and kittens, this was the show of not everything's easy, except defeating the monster of the week. Yep. That happened way too easy. And being the Guardian. But still, it was something where, I thought they were going to drag it out. I was hoping they would drag that out a little bit longer than... They started the episode, I don't have your costume ready yet, don't go out there. Middle of the episode, here's your costume. Yeah. It wasn't even like a big reveal at the very end, going, here's your costume. I think that it is cool though how they're keeping it a secret from Kara. Yeah. Yeah. So she has that secret helper out there that
I mean, I think she's going to figure it out.
One thing I like about the Guardian,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe the execution of it,
Yeah.
was when she landed
Mm-hmm.
and she asked, like, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, why are you asking him? You
Right.
have X-ray vision.
Yeah.
But I like that they established that and said, you know,
It's
he's covered
lead.
in lead.
Yeah.
She can't see
Because she
through.
tries to see through him towards
Because
the
I was
end
like,
there.
because I was like, oh my god, if you don't like use your powers,
Yeah.
figure this guy out. But
Yeah.
so I
Don't
like
be like Barry.
so
Do
I
something
like
on your own.
exactly. So I like
Yeah.
that was just answered right away.
Yeah. And she even gives him the little head nod for it. She's like, oh, lead, okay. Yeah.
Can't make it too easy for you.
Right, yeah. It's like they didn't do a great job of hiding the voice.
No.
It's like James Olsen doing a Batman impression.
which is, I guess that's a big. I guess voice modding is a big thing in the DC universe.
Yeah, yeah. He doesn't have he can't vibrate his voice like Barry can, so he's got to do something close. I like, too, that the costume is, it's a very short time period between when Wynn agrees to it and when we see the costume.
That we know of.
That we know of. But the costume kind of looks like it. I mean, it's not like pots and pans glued together, but it's not an elaborate costume or anything like that. It's very basic.
One thing that eludes me, and this could be because I didn't watch season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Did they establish that Olsen can fight?
In season 1, no.
So he's just rocking it.
Yeah,
That kind of confuses me.
they had like 1 or 2 scenes where they show that he does work out. Because when you pay a guy that looks like that, you're going to have him at least in a tank top, if not shirtless, at some point. But it really wasn't enough it was like all of a sudden he went to Max School of Fitness in between seasons.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, somebody from, Berlanti's team was watching S.H.I.E.L.D. and goes, we need a strong black character.
Yep.
Like physically strong in here.
Because that Mac guy,
Yeah.
he's beating us.
Yeah, can we make James Olsen into Mac?
We need a Henry Simmons. We can't hire another.
Right.
So let's just use one of ours.
Yeah, because heaven forbid we have 2 African American characters in the show.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we have to use the one that we already have.
Let's see. What else is a big thing that happened? So
Well, I don't want to do the Alex part yet because that.
I think that's. Oh, you knew what I wanted.
Yeah, that's a huge part there, and it had its funny moments, its serious moments, all that. I like the version of Wynn that we're getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're manning him up fast. I mean, it took a head injury for I'm forgetting S.H.I.E.L.D. names already.
Fitz.
For Fitz. I wanted to call him Finn for some reason. It took a head injury
Not
for
Star
him.
Wars.
Yeah, for him to start manning up. So, but I think I was combining Fitz and Wynn together there. But
Wits.
Wynn is getting
Wits.
wits. Yeah. One thing that I definitely want to bring up, and I love this. This goes back to the puppies and kittens of the show. Drunk Kara is the best Kara. Because her at Melissa Benoist, I don't know if she was actually drunk during the filming of that, but she made it believable. I believe that she was actually, I forgot what the alcohol was called, but I believe that she was actually drinking there.
And I like that they put it at the alien bar because I would not have believed it was an Earth bar.
No. I don't believe that she can get drunk on regular alcohol. And speaking of the bar, we see more. Get to know Monel a little bit better.
Yes. And we see more McGann.
Yeah.
Again. She's been MIA for the last episode. So,
But
nice to see she wasn't just okay, here's we introduced her. Okay, now she goes away.
Right. And with Monel, his little story of things aren't that easy is Kara wants him to be a superhero. Right. She wants him to, use his powers for good, and he wants to use them for money. And I kind of see both sides. It's great that she is doing her thing. She is Supergirl. But I don't think she should force him to do the same thing. As long as he's not doing evil, the guy he was beating up was, a bad guy technically.
Right.
He was just a different level of. It was more of the street level bad guy than
I think
super villain.
It goes back to her kind of notion of what she got let go from wanting to. Mold her like she wanted to mold Superman.
Right, yeah. So she wants to build another Superman.
Yeah. And, as you see in lore and in shows, Superman, just wanted her to be.
Yeah.
And, as in the first episode, she wasn't a superhero. She just was a regular chick.
Mm-hmm.
Just an alien.
Yeah. Which did make things difficult. But
yeah. So, well, barring from what we find out, because at the end of the episode, he was kidnapped by Cadmus.
Yeah.
But, barring something happening on Monday,
mm-hmm.
I hope she tries that attitude that she says she is going to do.
Right, yeah. But she brought her racism back out.
Yeah.
In this episode, like, full force. I mean, just telling them, you got to be good because your people can't be good, but you can.
Yep.
It's like, no, you're being racist, Kara. There's no other way around that.
Yeah, surprisingly, aside from drunk Kara
mm-hmm.
and racist Kara, oh man, you wouldn't think we were talking about Supergirl.
I know, she showed her human side.
But other than that, there really wasn't much of Supergirl.
No, this was a lot of character growth for other people.
1L.
Yeah.
James. Wynn. Alex.
Yeah. Megan.
Megan.
Yeah, because she has to... Supergirl and Martian Manhunter are attacked by... Parasite, this monster, literally monster of the week.
Which I don't like, which I gotta pick bones with that.
Yeah.
Because, I remember watching the Superman cartoon in the 90s, and Parasite was like that really cool, albeit monster of the Saturday morning episode.
Yeah.
A really cool one. And recurring.
Mm-hmm.
You saw him a couple
because it's something
times.
you can work with.
Yeah, and...
he's not going to be your main boss by any means, but...
But the thing was, when I saw the promo photo, I was confused. I was like, wait, a big monster? But, I've known Parasite to be, a humanoid-looking purple man.
Yeah.
And I wish they would have gone that route.
Yeah.
But they could still do that.
Yeah.
But...
And at least they kind of explain it. The reason he looks like that is because he got, too much alien DNA when he got Kara and... Hank at the same time.
Exactly. But I wish, I just wish it was like that, how I perceive the Parasite.
Yeah.
But, like I said, not to say they can't, but,
But the Parasite gets Martian Manhunter a little worse than he gets Kara.
Mm-hmm.
So he can't just sit under a heat lamp like she can. He has to get a blood infusion from another Martian.
Yes.
And
naturally... Who do they go to?
The only other quote-unquote green Martian they know.
I did like... I will applaud that, though.
Mm-hmm.
I did like that they played with that conflict McGann has going on.
Yeah, because she didn't just say yes and go down there.
Yeah, and I like that with the story, they forced that. It's like, we know she can't.
Yeah.
Or can't
and I was starting to wonder if she just couldn't because of morals or whatever, which is what it turned out to be, or if she, physically couldn't. Like, if their bloods wouldn't mesh well together.
Well, I think both.
Mm.
I think both, and obviously, and I'd like to think she's worried because, if something goes wrong, he might find out from that.
Yeah, because we don't know how... I mean, we know that he survives, obviously.
I'm sorry, people, we're not Martian experts here.
Yeah.
Martian anatomy, physiology experts here.
Yeah. We know that he survives, but we don't know much more than that. If there's going to be any side effects, or anything like that.
What happens if you mix white Martian and green Martian together?
Right.
We don't know.
Yeah.
But assuming we'll find out.
Yeah.
And that takes me jumping a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the preview for next week's episode.
Okay.
Now, folks, if you've been listening to me, next week's episode's kind of a big deal for me.
Yeah.
It's not a season finale. It's not, I don't think there's going to be a cliffhanger, but they did tease we will see Cyborg Superman.
Right.
And I'm a little disappointed so far, and I'm hoping DC did not reveal its cards and will shock us.
Yeah.
Have you seen the preview?
I've not, no.
There is a scene where you see David Harwood, the actor who plays Martian Manhunter, Hank Henshaw, all that stuff, fighting Kara.
Okay.
And she's going, "Why are you doing this?" And he goes, "Because you have to die, blah, blah, blah." And I'm thinking, I hope that's a side effect from the White Martian.
Right.
If that's Cyborg Superman, let's just say...
We might be losing you.
Let's just say I will finish...
They'll do the crossover.
I'll do the crossover, and Kevin Smith's episode.
Right. So you'll finish 2016, basically.
But I can't guarantee I'm coming back as a viewer. I will still read what goes on, like I did the first season. But, I just said from the beginning, when you find out that, Dean Cain's character was with Hank and, all that stuff, and blah, 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 and he's still alive, taken by Cadmus. So what a perfect person to play Cyborg Superman.
Yeah.
So, tomorrow, Monday, big test for me.
Yeah.
Will you do it? Will you finally surprise me with something this season? Because sometimes, all the CW shows right now, you haven't 100% shocked me.
Right. Yeah. There's been stuff that make you go, huh, but nothing that makes you go, huh.
And I hope tomorrow is that.
Yeah.
So, fingers crossed, knock on wood, cross your fingers.
Yeah, because that would be a turn that I might even drop the show.
Yeah.
If they did that, because, I mean, that's...
Because I'm thinking...
Even if they don't use Dean Cain, if they use anybody besides Hank, I would be okay with that. But yeah, if you use Hank...
Well, it's the classic. Why, other than to fulfill the Superman cameo count, why would you hire Dean Cain?
Right.
And why would you leave that character in limbo? And again, from the get-go, why do you name that character Hank Henshaw?
Right. Yeah.
And then why do you do the twist of, oh, he's Martian Manhunter? Well, then, who is... Yeah,
because Martian Manhunter exists. We can still use him a lot more in this show. We don't need to turn him into somebody else.
Exactly.
I mean, we already turned Hank Henshaw into Martian Manhunter.
A lot of people are thinking, is it the actual person, who he stole the form from? But then I thought, please don't do that.
Right.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
And then, if so, what are you using Dean Cain's character for?
Yeah.
If you want to use him for something to keep him in limbo this much, I mean, if you're not making Cyborg Superman, what are you doing with him?
Yeah.
So, Supergirl, Greg Berlanti, Andrew Kreistenberg, pay attention here.
Yes, please. And also, I don't want to see Mon-El be Cyborg Superman.
I don't think... Oh, geez. I didn't think about that, but I hope it's not.
I mean, I'd rather see him than Hank, but I don't want to see either one of them.
Yeah. I want a pure shock.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not talking about Tyler Hoechlin. Just... It's Dean Cain.
It's Dean Cain, yeah. Make it Dean Cain. Even if you've already recorded it and it's somebody else, go back and make it Dean Cain.
Yeah, you got 24 hours.
Yeah.
I've seen magic work.
Yeah, right?
But
just CG Dean Cain's face on Hank's body. Nobody will know.
And then film it a different way another time.
Yeah.
Put it for the Blu-ray.
There you go, yeah.
But, so, that's a bit... in on that. So one last thing about the episode.
Yes, the big story in the episode.
Story. Surprisingly enough, the big story.
It was, yeah.
That wasn't really about Supergirl.
Not at all.
Yeah.
No.
What did you think about that?
I loved it. I loved the way that it was set up. I loved the way that it was executed, and I loved the way it ended.
Yes.
So I think they did all three perfectly because it kept thinking rainbows and kittens the whole time. Now, of course, we're talking about Alex coming out to herself.
Yes.
And
then coming out to Kara.
Right, and then coming out to Kara. And I like the fact that when she came out to Kara, it wasn't just Kara giving her a hug and saying, I love you no matter what, let's go on with our lives. She did the whole thing that a lot of families do is like, are you sure? Yeah. Are you sure that's going on here? You sure not just a fan of this other girl?
And going to the end. Yeah, I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
I did not expect Maggie to essentially be to basically friend zone her.
Yeah. It's like, that's fine you came out. I'm glad you came out. I'm here for you. But
I'm not.
Yeah. We're not going to be together like that. And I was like, yes, CW, that's how you do it right there.
And I was like, wow. Kind of should have told her that from the get-go, Maggie.
But it made it more realistic instead of just ending with them being in a relationship or something,
I believe they'll still be in a relationship, but I was satisfied with how that whole thing went.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
yay, yay on that front. But don't forget Dean Cain.
Yeah,
Dean Cain.
Yeah, because CW
get Tom Welling. I would be okay with that too.
Yeah.
So would he probably be. He'd probably be as shocked as we are. He's like, what am I doing here?
The CW is definitely proving with this show. At least past the Superman episodes, because I kind of count them separately than I am the rest of this season so far, because it feels different. It feels like more has gone on since Superman has left.
Okay.
I feel that the CW is really building the relationships now and building the characters better than CBS did during the first season.
Okay.
So
I can get with that.
Yeah.
Mainly because I didn't watch the first season.
Yeah.
So,
So it's all brand new to
is.
you, really. Yeah.
Closing thoughts on what you thought or what you hope to expect from future episodes, including tomorrow, Dean Cain.
Yeah. I say don't reveal Cyborg Superman until like at least the last 10 minutes, if not the very, very end.
And if you do, Dean Cain.
Dean Cain, yeah. Make it Dean Cain no matter when you reveal
Dean
it.
Cain, I'm not being mean, but when was the last time someone wanted you this bad?
Yeah, yeah. And also, give us more about Cadmus and make us... Because I'm not afraid of Cadmus as, you know, an entity, a character, anything like that.
Like Hydra on S.H.I.E.L.D.
Like Hydra or anything like that. And granted, Hydra had the backstory that I was familiar with and all that from the movies and from the comics. I'm not as familiar with Cadmus.
Well, I think the problem with the show Cadmus so far is that, you know, they've only done like Monster of the Week type.
Right. Easily defeated.
Easily defeated. So how can you be afraid of something if your protagonists are, you know, troubled but not like severely affected?
Right.
So I think that's where, you know...
Yeah, you're not giving us a Ward-like character out of Cadmus.
Yeah.
You know, there's nobody who we trust but fear
there's not
at the
really,
same time.
Other than the name, there's not a recurring threat.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And the only
It's
thing
just
we've
the
really
recurring-
seen from it is the... I can't think of her name right now. The Luthor mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luthor mom.
Yeah, Luthor mom.
Mama Luthor.
Mama Luthor. And she doesn't strike fear into anybody, including her own daughter, who is just like, mother.
Yep.
You know, so...
And she has to basically wire her minions to strike fear into them.
So I think they should use this episode to build that up before... Because I don't believe Cadmus can make Cyborg Superman right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So make me believe that they can do something like that. Because Cyborg Superman should not be defeated in one episode just by having plutonium or uranium or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And I think that should have given the Parasite more power. I don't think it should have poofed him.
Well, the thing, you know, going back to on that note, they did Metallo. Metallo is, you know, one of the, you know, most well-known Superman villains, and they defeated him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what are you...
So, yeah.
You're not creating any real threats.
Yeah. So if they brought Cyborg Superman in at the beginning of the episode, I would predict that he would be defeated the same episode right there.
I would hope he just doesn't
probably
die.
by James Olsen.
Oh my! That
dressed as James Olsen too, just
with the camera.
With the camera, yeah.
Actually, he hits him with the camera.
With the camera in the billiards room, turn it into a game of Clue.
Yeah. Same thoughts for me.
Yeah.
But again, guys, Dean Cain.
Dean Cain, yeah. Hashtag Dean Cain.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm 80% sure you're gonna lose me past Kevin Smith's episode.
Yeah.
If it is not Dean Cain.
Gonna lose a lot of people with a tank, but a few people too if it's not Dean Cain.
I can't vouch because, you know, I'm a relatively new viewer. Mm-hmm. Just saying, you're gonna lose me.
Yeah.
I'll still read on Wikipedia what happens.
Yeah.
Generally, but yeah.
And remember, this is only your second season. You can't afford to be losing people.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. It's not like S.H.I.E.L.D. where the ratings aren't great right now, but it's still a strong show.
Well, you know, that I like how they like to point out that S.H.I.E.D. doesn't have great ratings.
Yeah.
But they have consistent ratings.
Right, yeah.
They you know, it's like we said in our S.H.I.E.L.D. preview episode. Mm-hmm. They know their audience.
Right.
So they just
focus, and they've been around long enough to do that.
They focus on that audience now. Let's move on to the
Flash.
Let's flash on to the Flash.
Yeah. Speaking of coming out day for superheroes.
Big episode for me.
Yeah.
Love Wally West, the character.
I'm glad that they did not rush into Kid Flash.
We still don't know.
We don't know, yeah.
Even if it is, but
based on... CW is how you need to do characters like that.
However, unfortunately, when you release plot points, maybe trim out some things.
Yeah.
Spoiler. So, you know, as we saw, Wally's been having dreams of being Kid Flash, which is alluding to he's having dreams of his life in Flashpoint.
Yeah, because they're not just dreams, they're more like visions.
Yes.
Sort of thing, yeah.
And at the end, you know, he does confront Alchemy. And, you know, he is tempted to grab the Alchemy Stone, whatever. And in a move that pretty much copies Terrigenesis.
Yeah.
He's encased in a crystal cocoon. What that does, we don't know.
Right.
But we're going to assume he will be Kid Flash from that point on.
Right.
And why I say that, assuming that, probably yes, was the synopsis for the Invasion crossover. The side plot to that episode is that, Wally wants to help, but Iris fears that he is not ready. So I'm thinking, well, what can you do in this situation if you don't have powers?
Yeah.
Unless you do.
Right.
That's how you can help.
And you have powers, but you're not ready yet with those powers. Yeah.
So, we know he's not dead.
Yeah.
That'd be a shocker.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, I like the episode. I like, though it felt so much like a Monster of the Week that we don't care about. Honestly, I really didn't care. I didn't even pay attention to the villain.
Yeah, we didn't.
But
didn't even need him for the episode.
But I like that it focused more on alchemy.
Yeah.
And HR being HR.
Yeah. Yeah, HR was very. We're getting, now that we know his big secret, we're getting like full HR. And my wife.
I love the scene where they mentioned Gorilla Grodd, and he's like, and they're like, "You got Gorilla Grodd?"
We got gorillas.
We got Gorilla Grodd.
Yeah. One thing about HR that my wife brought up to me, she goes, "So he writes," and I go, "Yeah." And my wife doesn't do a lot of reading.
Okay.
She's an art teacher. So she goes, so...
And by that, you're not saying she's condemning reading.
No. But the fact that she brought up a writer, she goes, so he's like H.G. Wells? I'm like,
Huh.
I know, right? My mind was just, boom.
Huh.
I was like, and we were like walking through Target or something like that, and I just stood still. I was like, how did we not think of that?
Huh.
Yeah.
I did not get that correlation.
I did not, yeah. It's like H.R. Wells, H.G. Wells.
Huh.
Yeah. So shout out to my wife there,
Huh. And kids, you can learn a lot from arts.
Yes, that's very true.
That's a lesson right there.
Yeah.
But it was a really solid episode. Like the only thing that really stands out to me, which I think everybody in the episode would agree, the end.
Yes.
So before the season started, they announced that the villain of it will be Savitar, the god of speed. And through the internet now, we can see what the set looks like way before the episode airs.
Right.
And we saw, a guy in like a black Flash outfit. Naturally, the internet jumped. They said, "Oh my god,
yeah,
that's Savitar." They were really adamant. No, that's not. We were like, "Wait, you said that the villain?"
Yeah.
That guy looks like a villain.
Yeah.
So naturally, that's Savitar.
Don't J.J. Abrams us here.
And they said, no, it's not Savitar. They're like, it's the rival. I was like, okay, so you got multiple villains? Kind of. So they've been keeping that a secret till this episode.
Yeah.
Shocked me.
Yeah.
Guy looks like a Transformer. So again, they're going with the Transformer Ultron look. It's like, man, you guys just aren't even trying to differentiate, but whatever.
Yeah.
It seemed menacing.
Yeah.
And the fact that a friend of mine pointed out, you're going to need Kid Flash because Kanan Lonsdale fills out his Flash uniform.
Yeah.
Barry still looks like a stick.
That's true.
And I remember they described Savitar as like more physical than any of the other, speedster villains they've had. If a guy can pin Barry to the ceiling with one hand, yeah, he's gonna need some help. So one of the other reasons I believe Kid Flash is coming, you're gonna need some help.
Yeah.
I did like before they revealed Savitar. You saw like the bluish lightning going around.
Yeah.
And Barry's like, oh, "Did you guys see that?" See what? I was like, geez, if you can barely see that.
I know, right?
Makes you think they can.
Yeah, everything goes slower for you. And
he doesn't have powers yet.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't have powers yet.
Let him be totally terror-genicized first.
The other big reveal is that the team finally knows about the potential Killer Frost.
Yes. Yeah, because she got vibed, which no matter how you say it, just sounds naughty.
Yep.
Cisco vibed her.
Ooh. Sorry, guys.
And he saw them fight and did not want to tell her at
first.
Vibing. While vibing. Yeah.
Ooh.
And I did not think, this is another time when CW rushed things, I thought he was going to wait until the next episode to admit that he saw them fight. Because at first,
or at least you thought by the next episode they'll reveal it to a team.
Right.
Nope. Both things.
Yeah. But I did like, talking about relationships and all that, I like the fact that even Cisco basically told the team, and that pissed her off.
Yeah.
She was like, that was not your right to tell. You know, if I was going to tell, it was up to me. You know, and he just was like, no, she's going to be Killer Frost.
Yep. Which will be the subject of this Tuesday's episode. It's the Kevin Smith episode where they bring out the Killer Frost. What's going to happen? We don't know.
Yeah.
But assumingly Wally will be not in a cocoon or, will be Kid Flash. We don't know.
Right. Yeah.
That's the one thing that Synopsis doesn't tell you. It's the one time I kind of want them to reveal stuff. It's like, yeah, but does it take place like right after that scene? Because he kind of left like big villain. One of your teammates is in a crystallized cocoon.
Yeah.
Answers.
Yeah. Yeah, because there has to be some time before the crossover episode. If Kid Flash is going to be in the crossover episode, we need a little training montage before that.
Or maybe the training montage will be in the crossover episode. That's the part of the crossover that you don't need to watch.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because during last year's, the ones I didn't watch, I just read the parts that I needed to know.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else happened?
Well, we don't know who Alchemy
Still don't know who Alchemy is.
Of course, the internet thinks it's Feldman. Yeah. I hope they don't take that route. It's just that's easy. That's low-hanging fruit right there.
It's the ever classic when they announce a new person in the cast. Lately, they've always been the villain.
Right.
And it's getting old.
Well, and also, I think just in movies and TV in general, this typecasting is getting old. I mean, it even goes back to like Christopher Lee when he was set to play in Star Wars. I was like, bad guy.
Bad guy.
Yeah, he's going to be a bad guy. Why? Because he's Christopher Lee. That's why.
Christopher Lee is going to be in Tim Burton's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Bad guy.
Yeah.
Bad guy.
Adam Tuick is going to be in something Disney makes. Well, we're going to think he's the bad guy at first, but then he's going to end up being all right.
Yep. So, yeah.
Give us a surprise. Let him just be a jerk.
I still want him to just be just regular dude.
Yeah.
Like, really nothing. In the same way Eddie in season 1 was just a regular dude.
Yeah.
Even though he had that connection to the villain. I like that they never took that route with him.
Yeah.
Now, in the future, if they ever want to make that character a bad guy, then it's a surprise.
Yeah.
But, let it just ride.
Don't like him the big bad.
Yeah. But just let it ride.
Yeah. And I feel like they're going to bring Magenta back. Because they said Magenta like 5 different times.
That's right.
In this episode.
She's not dead.
Right. But it's not like they just referenced her or past people or anything like that. It was like, Magenta did this, Magenta did that.
Yeah.
And Wally's like, I'm not Magenta.
I didn't pick up on that, but good note.
Yeah.
And the other reason I believe maybe I could go with you on that was Joey King, who played Magenta.
Yeah.
She's not your run-of-the-mill TV actress. She's kind of been in some movies. A lot.
Yeah.
Some high-profile ones, too. So, you're right.
Yeah, you don't want to just use her for that one shot and then...
It's the ever classic, if she was just going to be a run-of-the-mill Monster Week, wham bam, we're done with that.
Yeah.
You could have she's not even Canadian that I know of. Joey King, if you're Canadian, you can tell us or not.
Yeah. You can come out to us, safe space.
Yeah. But yeah, she's, as far as I know, I don't think she's Canadian.
Yeah.
So, that's a Canadian film show.
Yeah.
So, you're right. I didn't pick up on that. I should have picked up on the fact that they got her as a character. Because I remember when she announced on her Instagram and Entertainment Weekly announced, Joey King to play villain. I was like, oh, okay, so 2 for 2. You got Tom Felton in the cast, and then you got...
I mean, they're not just saying, Joey Smith is playing this Magenta character.
This girl has been, she was in a Selena Gomez movie when she was like 9 or something. She was recently working with Roland Emmerich in Independence Day 2. She was Talia al Ghul in Christopher Nolan's Batman.
Yeah.
So she's got a resume.
Yeah. Yeah. And I say bring her back, keep her as a villain. don't put her on the Flash team.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Don't want her on a team. But I don't think she should be a villain.
Well, she can be like a Catwoman type villain. Where it's not
I think she should just keep being troubled. I like the troubled aspect,
Mm.
but I don't want her to like be on a side unless there's something really bad happening. Then use your powers for good, but don't be like don't be the good guy. Don't start shacking up at Star Labs.
Yeah, you can be kind of like Captain Cold.
Yeah.
Where he's a bad guy technically as far as the world sees him, but he's not a bad guy.
Yeah. He's not,
or was as far as we know.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know.
So, there is talk about him joining Legion of Doom, but that's...
From what I know, I think they're going to get the bad version from the past and do that.
Same actor, though?
Same actor.
Okay. I like him as an actor.
Yeah. Surprisingly, this episode of Flash didn't have a lot, but it did.
Yeah, it was like it was making the foundation for
it was a filler, but not.
Yeah. It was a filler that you need to watch.
Yes.
Yeah. You don't have to pay attention to the Shadow Man.
Surprisingly enough, the plot points with the... kind of like with Supergirl.
Mm-hmm.
Correlation there. The parts with the Flash don't really need.
Yeah.
It's everybody else. Like with Supergirl. The part that Supergirl was in, you don't need to watch, but you need to follow everybody else.
Right.
Kind of funny how that worked out last week.
Yeah, it's almost like they're the same company and same producers and all that.
Yeah, they should. They probably talk to each other.
They probably did. Yeah,
it's like they probably filmed with each other.
Arrow and the other one probably have a similar thing going on too.
Yeah, but I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, Willa Holland.
And if they do have the same thing going on, don't worry about telling us.
Yeah. Especially if you're the one that's actually in the scene. If you want to tell us, then that's great.
Yeah. So what are you looking forward to with Kevin Smith?
With Kevin Smith,
because he's already shown us he can do a Flash episode.
Yes, but as people fail to point out, and he points it out himself, though, he's not writing this right.
Right.
And as he points out, directing a TV show, a well-known TV show in its establishment, it's not that hard to do.
Right.
As opposed to filming something you 100% create. I think he did a video or an Instagram post or something. It says, I'm basically there just to steer the ship. Yeah. I'm not giving specific coordinates or, I'm not doing anything radical unless that's what they want me to do.
Right.
But it's its own engine running. It's going to go on without me regardless. Right. So, if anything, he's just there as that name you admit. However, I did really enjoy his Flash episode. Yeah. And so I guess the only thing I expect from the Kevin Smith aspect of both the Supergirl episode and the Arrow episode that he wants to do, and on Tuesday's Flash. Please tell me Jason Mewes is coming back.
Right, yeah.
As that same character.
Let his car get frozen.
Ooh. And like I said for MegaCon, we're on the same page. Yeah. He's thinking that too. Yeah.
Everybody wants to see it happen.
And they haven't said whether or not he is. I don't know if they're keeping that a surprise. Please surprise us. Yeah, I don't see why that can't be in it.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't take away anything from the show.
If anything, that's a stamp for Kevin Smith doing it. Because like he says, they could get anybody. The director of a TV show episode is not to create it from scratch. They're just there to make sure everything goes the way it should, offer input if needed. But, they got a team of writers who works on this, all year, every day. Yeah. Director, sometimes they are only there for the 2 weeks there, and they go away. Yeah. But, that Jason Mewes scene in The Runaway Dinosaur, Season 2 of The Flash, that was the scene you're like, yes, this is a Kevin Smith episode. Right.
But then there also are things that directors can do aesthetically, like with camera placement and all that. Yeah. That's what I look for with Kevin Smith, because he knows, he's been behind camera long enough. Yeah. He knows how to take some of these smallest scenes and make you feel. Exactly. So yeah, I'm looking for that in this,
That, you're right. Going back to his last episode, a lot of it was scenes with the embodiment of the Speed Force. Right. So I'm assuming...
Which on paper sounds ridiculous. Yeah.
And it still was.
It still kind of was, but yeah.
But if you're... For that type of scene in this past episode, I feel like we're going to see a lot of one-on-ones with Caitlin and Barry. So, who knows?
Yes, but just like we've said before, keep her bad.
Yeah.
You know, she doesn't have to be
now that's one
mega
thing,
bad.
That's one thing, because the next episode right after that is the invasion.
Right.
And while we know Supergirl and Arrow and Legends are coming to the episode. Clearly Barry is too.
Right.
And like I said, we know that Wally wants to help, but he's not ready. Whether that means he's got powers or not, we don't know. But I'm going to say yes. We don't really know what happens with everybody else.
Right.
So I hope that's another thing.
Because in a lot of the promotional stills, there's a lot of people missing.
Yeah.
And I know it's a lot of people to fit into there.
Yeah, exactly.
Legends of Tomorrow has like 8 people by itself.
I just really thought of it, man. Those promotional skills for Infinity War, it's going to be like a lot of people are going to be missing from that.
Yeah.
And we won't know what's going on until we see it. But anyway, they haven't said, anything about Cisco or HR or Joe.
But Cisco and Wynn need to meet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope they will.
They have to.
But yeah, we don't know.
Trade notes.
We don't know really what's going to happen with Caitlin. So again, CW, come on, shock me.
Yeah.
Do you kill her this episode?
Oh.
I don't know. Shock me. Whatever happens,
that would shock me.
That would shock me.
That would shock
a lot of people.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And it wouldn't stop me from watching future episodes either. Well, with the caveat, depending on how you do it. If it's some, she falls off a cliff sort of thing to kill her off, just to get rid of her, then no.
Yeah.
Let her go down in a blaze of glory.
So that would be something between Dean Cain, are you actually Cyborg Superman, and what is going to happen to Caitlin? It's not going to be puppies and rainbows.
Yeah.
Are those things happening? We don't know.
Yeah.
We'll tell you. In next week's episode, which we are unclear when we're filming.
Right.
Being a holiday. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. We'll either be super ecstatic about telling you about these 2 episodes, or we're going to be super bummed.
Yeah, because either our episodes will keep the same, or we're going to lose a show.
Yep.
At this point, yeah.
Flash has gotten to the point where we're not losing Flash.
Flash would have to take a left turn on a red light. It would have to do something completely stupid to lose us. And they've done some dumb things.
They've done some dumb things.
Yeah, but just like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it would have to do something
super wacky.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. would have to cancel for us to stop watching.
Yes.
That's the only thing they can do. But yeah, Supergirl, you got us kind of walking the line.
I appreciate what you're doing, but just, keep on the positive slope.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I could really say.
Everything we love about it right now, keep doing that.
And just the things that annoy me, just keep it at a minimum. I understand some of the things that annoy me are the cornerstones of the episode, so they're going to be there regardless. But just, keep it at a minimal.
Yeah.
And Dean Cain.
And Dean Cain. Hashtag Dean Cain.
Dean Cain.
Dean Cain for life.
So yeah, we kind of wrapped up the episode and gave you a preview of the episode.
Yeah.
All doing that. Yeah. Like I said, if next week, you'll know if we were satisfied.
Yeah.
I didn't really, you know what? Before talking for this episode, I didn't realize how big of an episode these 2 on Monday and Tuesday are.
Yeah.
Kind of just took them. I mean, I knew Cyborg Superman was coming, and in my head, I knew it was the Kevin Smith episode. But dissecting what could be at stake.
Yeah, and it's also funny how in both episodes, the bad guy definitely didn't matter.
Yes.
And the particular character didn't really matter.
And this week has a lot at stake.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
How about that?
I know, right? The more you know.
So
until next week.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Go eat whatever.
Eat, drink, and be merry.